Wow, do the Liberals really want to change Canada? I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. A Department of Peace, 60 more official languages, and declaring sugar a toxic substance. All of these are fine Liberal ideas about to get some serious consideration. See, the federal Liberal Party, the folks with their hands on the reins of power, they're going to have a convention later this month. It's actually the same time as the Conservative Convention. Now, while the Conservatives will be discussing how to take power back from the Liberals will actually be discussing what to do with their newfound power. And, well, that's what makes this all a worrisome affair. Among the ideas, yes, a Department of Peace. Here is that resolution. Be it resolved that the Liberal Party of Canada urge the Government of Canada to establish a Department or Ministry of Peace and Nonviolence with a mandate that includes the creation of a permanent Canadian civilian service of professionally trained men and women working for the prevention of violent conflict and war and the nonviolent resolution of conflict at every level of society, both within Canada and overseas. Yes, that's what the world needs, a Canadian government Department of Peace going around negotiating peaceful settlements between Bashar al-Assad and the al-Nusra Front, or between ISIS and the Yazidis they want to exterminate. We already have a global body, a well-funded global body, that does what this Liberal motion is proposing, and we all know the United Nations fails miserably. Having a bunch of Canadian bureaucrats join the fray, that's not going to accomplish much. A Department of Peace isn't the only loony idea that the Liberals are considering. They also want a raft of new social programs, and forget about just going to a $15 an hour minimum wage. They want a guaranteed annual income, whether you work or not. I mean, who wants to get out of bed for a mere $15 an hour while you can get that from just sitting at home, in a government-provided home, no less? Now, to be fair, the Liberals don't call for the government taking over the housing stock, as happened in parts of Britain last century to disastrous effect, but they do want the government heavily involved in housing at all levels. I've seen government office buildings. I don't want to see government homes. Now, the Liberals are also talking about lowering the voting age to 16. This is a favorite of the left. Do you know why? Because most young people move from expecting their parents to pay for everything and looking after them to expecting the government to pay for everything and look after them. It's only once these young people start paying real taxes at their first real job that this idealism begins to fade. It's already too expensive. Now, so the Liberals, who are in charge of changing our voting system, they want to change it in a way that benefits them and their own fortune by using a stacked committee. And now they also want to lower the voting age to benefit themselves. Sounds good, doesn't it? The Liberals are literally all over the policy map with their proposals. It includes one to eliminate all forms of Islamophobia, another promoting nuclear peace, another having the government pay for your prescription drugs. And, well, speaking of drugs, while the Liberals are the party of legalizing pot, they actually have a policy coming forward that would declare sugar a toxin and a public health menace. Now, sugar isn't great for you, but neither's pot. But the Liberals like one, apparently not the other. So what's going to happen when they do legalize pot? Someone gets the munchies? There's a couple of Aboriginal issues that are interesting, including one that, well, simply cannot become Government of Canada policy. It would destroy the country. One policy is not bad. It says, instead of simply rotating the position of Governor General between Anglophones and Francophones, that it also be rotated to include an Aboriginal representation. It's a largely ceremonial role, and this isn't a bad idea. But then there's this policy on official languages. It calls for Aboriginal languages to be made official languages in Canada, in addition to English and French. Now, according to Stats Canada, there are 60 Aboriginal languages spoken in Canada. Are we ready for 62 official languages? Because that would mean Parliament would hear debates in all 62 languages. We would need simultaneous translation among and between all 62 languages. We'd also have to have the courts able to hear cases in each of those languages. Are we ready for that? Then there's the civil service. We would have 62 official languages in the workplace. And given the current law that we operate under, that would mean people working in 62 different languages and then having the right to demand that they be supervised in that language. However noble the people that put this forward thought they were being, this is simply unworkable, unless the goal is to increase costs, enlarge the bureaucracy, and make sure government stops working for the people that pay its bills and works only on internal issues, like who's going to translate this memo or press release into the other 61 languages. Is that something that we want? Is that something that's workable? Is that something that we can afford? The answer to all of these questions is no, but don't think that will stop the Liberals. Most of these policies being discussed at the Liberal convention are unworkable, but they push ahead anyway, unaware of cost to taxpayers or not caring, also not caring about the damage to the national fabric. It's all for the cause. I would say pity the poor Liberals, but we're the ones that elected them, and we may have to live with and under these policies.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.